Stop giving energy to what hurts you. Stop handing your peace to the same pain that keeps pulling you away from yourself. Every time your mind returns to what broke your heart, a little more of your life force goes with it. But today, that changes. Today, you bring your energy back, focus on yourself, and let your life begin to move again. You may think you are only thinking about it, only remembering it, only checking it, only wondering why it happened, only trying to understand why someone acted the way they did, or why life moved the way it moved. But every time your attention goes back to what hurt you, a little more of your energy goes with it. And slowly, without you even seeing it clearly, your life begins to circle around the pain instead of around your own healing. What hurts you does not always shout. Sometimes it enters quietly. It comes as a thought while you are trying to sleep. It comes as a memory while you are doing normal things. It comes as a small feeling in your chest when you see something, hear something, or remember something. And before you know it, your whole mood has changed. Your body feels tired. Your heart feels pulled down. Your mind begins asking the same questions again. Why did this happen? Why was I treated this way? Why did I give so much? Why was I not chosen, heard, valued, or understood? And the more you ask, the more your energy stays tied to the wound. There comes a time when healing begins with one quiet decision, not a loud decision, not an angry decision, not a decision made to prove something to anyone. A quiet decision inside your own heart that says, I cannot keep feeding what keeps hurting me. I cannot keep giving my whole inner world to something that leaves me empty. I cannot keep making pain the center of my life. That decision is not weakness. It is power returning. It is your soul, remembering that your energy is sacred. It is your spirit saying, I belong to myself again. Many people do not realize how much energy they give away every day. They think energy is only physical strength. They think energy is only about waking up, working, moving, and doing what needs to be done. But your emotional energy is also life. Your attention is life. Your focus is life. Your care is life. Your thoughts are life. When you keep placing those things on what hurts you, you are feeding the very thing you are trying to outgrow. You may say you want peace, but your focus may still be living inside the pain. You may say you want freedom, but your mind may still be holding the chain. You may say you want a new life, but your heart may still be waiting for the old thing to change. This is why focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is healing. It is not cold. It is not cruel. It is not wrong. It is the beginning of coming back home to your own life. There is a version of you that is tired of waiting, tired of checking, tired of explaining, tired of hoping that the same situation will suddenly give you the peace it has never given you. That part of you is not asking for more pain. That part of you is asking for your attention. It is asking you to turn inward and finally listen. Sometimes the hardest thing to accept is that not everything deserves more of your energy. Not every memory needs to be replayed. Not every person needs more access to your heart. Not every situation needs one more chance to disturb your peace. Not every unanswered question needs to control your whole day. There are things that may never explain themselves in a way that satisfies your heart. There are people who may never understand the depth of what they caused. There are moments that may never become fair. But your peace cannot wait forever for the outside world to become gentle. Your peace begins when you stop letting what hurt you decide how much of yourself you are allowed to keep. You may have spent so much time trying to fix what hurt you that you forgot to care for the part of you that was hurt. You may have spent so much time wondering why something changed that you forgot to ask yourself what you need now. You may have spent so much time looking at what was lost that you forgot to notice what is still alive within you. Your softness is still there. Your hope is still there. Your wisdom is still there. Your future is still there. But it becomes hard to feel those things when your energy is always turned toward the wound. What you give energy to grows inside your mind. If you keep feeding fear, fear becomes louder. If you keep feeding regret, regret becomes heavier. If you keep feeding anger, anger becomes familiar. If you keep feeding pain, pain begins to feel like home, even when it is not. But when you begin feeding peace, peace slowly becomes familiar too. When you begin feeding self-respect, self-respect grows stronger. When you begin feeding your own healing, your inner world begins to, change. Life begins to feel different, not because everything outside has changed at once, but because you are no longer handing your power away. This is the quiet truth. Your attention is a doorway. Whatever receives your attention receives permission to enter deeper into your life. If you keep opening the door to the same hurt, it will keep walking in. If you keep opening the door to the same fear, it will keep taking space. If you keep opening the door to the same old story, it will keep repeating itself in your feelings. But you can choose a new doorway. You can choose to open your attention toward peace, toward yourself, toward healing, toward the life that still wants to meet you. It is not easy at first because the mind often returns to what feels unfinished. The heart often returns to what it loved, what it needed, what it wanted to be different. And you do not need to judge yourself for that. You do not need to be harsh with yourself because you still think about what hurt you. Healing is not about pretending you never cared. Healing is about learning that caring for yourself must become stronger than caring about what broke your peace. It is about learning to hold your own heart with more loyalty then you hold the pain. There is a deep difference between feeling pain and feeding pain. Feeling pain is human. Feeding pain is when you keep building your life around it. Feeling pain allows the heart to release. Feeding pain keeps the heart tied to the same place. Feeling pain says, "This hurt me." Feeding pain says, "This owns me," and it does not own you. It touched your life, but it is not your whole life. It changed something in you, but it does not get to decide everything after this. You are allowed to feel what happened without becoming trapped inside it. Your energy is precious. It is not meant to be poured endlessly into what keeps taking from you. Your energy is meant to support your growth, your peace, your joy, your body, your dreams, your healing, your inner strength. When you keep giving it to what hurts you, you may still look like you are moving through life, but inside you feel far away from yourself. You may smile, speak, work, help others, and do what is expected. Yet deep inside, you feel tired in a way sleep does not fix. That kind of tiredness often comes from carrying energy where it no longer belongs. So today, this message is not asking you to fight the pain. It is asking you to stop feeding it. Do not fight your own mind. Do not punish your own heart. Do not shame yourself for having feelings. Simply begin noticing where your energy goes. Notice what drains you. Notice what pulls you out of your peace. Notice what makes you feel smaller, heavier, or less like yourself. And then gently ask, does this deserve more of me? Does this help me heal? Does this bring me closer to the life I want to live? Or does this keep me tied to the version of myself that was only trying to survive? You are allowed to take your energy back. You are allowed to stop explaining yourself to memories. You are allowed to stop proving your worth to places that did not value your heart. You are allowed to stop giving your mind to something that never gives you peace in return. You are allowed to stop reaching for what keeps pulling away. You are allowed to stop chasing what keeps leaving you empty. This is not about becoming hard. This is about becoming whole. The moment you begin to focus on yourself, life starts to change in quiet ways. You may not see everything at once, but you begin to feel a small space inside you. A space where the pain is not the only voice. A space where you can hear your own needs again. A space where your heart begins to remember that peace is possible. This is where change begins. Not in forcing someone else to understand. Not in waiting for the past to become different. Not in begging life to give you proof. Change begins when your energy comes back to you. When you keep giving energy to what hurts you, the cost is not always clear at first. You may think you are only being caring. You may think you are only being loyal. You may think you are only trying to make sense of something, but little by little, the hurt begins to take more space than it should. It takes your focus. It takes your calm. It takes your rest. It takes your confidence. It takes the simple joy you used to feel in small things. It makes your inner world feel crowded, even when nothing is happening around you. Pain becomes heavier when it receives your daily attention. It starts to travel with you. You wake up and it is there. You try to work and it is there. You try to enjoy something and it returns. You try to rest and your mind begins again. This is how energy gets tied to what hurts you. The outside situation may not even be happening in that moment, but inside you, it keeps happening again and again. Your body feels the memory as if it is still present. Your heart responds as if the wound is being touched again. Your mind keeps searching for a way to feel safe. This is why emotional pain can feel so tiring. It is not only the thing that happened, it is the energy you keep spending on it afterward. Thinking about it takes energy. Replaying it takes energy. Wondering what could have been different takes energy. Waiting for someone to change takes energy. Trying to understand why you were not treated better takes energy. Pretending you are fine also takes energy. And after all of that, there may be very little left for yourself. You may start losing interest in your own life without realizing why. The things that once made you feel alive may feel distant. Your goals may feel harder to reach. Your body may feel heavy. Your mind may feel scattered. Your heart may feel unsure. Not because you are weak, but because your energy has been pulled in too many painful directions. You cannot keep pouring yourself into what drains you and still expect to feel full inside. At some point, the soul begins to ask for its own attention back. Giving energy to, oh, what hurts you also affects how you see yourself. When you keep focusing on what rejected you, ignored you, disappointed you, or confused you, you may begin to question your own worth. You may start wondering if you were not enough. You may start thinking you should have done more, said more, tried harder, stayed longer, been quieter, been stronger, been different. But pain often lies when it speaks through fear. It makes you think your value depends on how someone treated you. It makes you think your future depends on what did not work. It makes you think your peace can only return if something outside of you finally changes. But your worth was never in that situation. Your worth was never in that response. Your worth was never in that approval. Your worth was never in being chosen by what could not see you clearly. Your worth belongs to you. It was with you before the hurt happened, and it remains with you now. The only thing that changed is where your attention has been resting. When your attention stays on pain, your own beauty becomes harder to feel. When your attention comes back to yourself, your worth becomes clearer again. The hidden cost is also spiritual. Your energy is the way you meet life. It is the feeling you carry into your choices. It is the tone behind your thoughts. It is the quiet signal you send to yourself every day. When your energy is tied to hurt, life begins to feel smaller. You may make choices from fear instead of peace. You may hold on because you are afraid nothing better will come. You may accept less because you are tired. You may silence your needs because you do not want to lose what already hurts you. This is how pain can quietly shape a life. But the moment your energy begins to return, your choices begin to change. You stop reacting to every little thing. You stop running after every sign. You stop needing every answer before you can feel calm. You stop letting one person, one memory, one mistake, or one disappointment control the whole atmosphere of your heart. You begin to feel the difference between love and attachment, between care and self-abandonment, between patience and waiting in pain, between hope and refusing to let go of what keeps wounding you. Many people stay emotionally tied to pain because they think letting go means the pain did not matter. But letting go does not mean it did not matter. It means you matter too. Letting go does not erase what happened. It frees your future from being built around it. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop sacrificing your peace to prove that you cared. Letting go does not mean you are cold. It means you are finally warm toward yourself. There is a part of you that has been waiting for permission to stop carrying what keeps hurting you. A part of you that knows you are tired. A part of you that knows you have given enough thought, enough tears, enough time, enough inner space. That part of you is not asking you to forget everything. It is asking you to remember yourself. It is asking you to stop letting the pain be louder than your own life. When your energy is trapped in hurt, you may begin to live in a state of waiting. Waiting for an apology, waiting for clarity, waiting for proof, waiting for someone to notice your absence, waiting for life to make sense, waiting for the past to return in a softer form. But waiting can become a quiet prison when it keeps you from living. Your life is not meant to be placed on hold until something outside of you becomes kind. Your healing can begin before the apology. Your peace can begin before the explanation. Your self-worth can return before anyone else understands what you felt. The cost of giving energy to what hurts you is that you may begin to miss the life that is still here. You may miss the small moments of beauty. You may miss the people who do care. You may miss the guidance inside your own heart. You may miss the chances that are quietly opening because your focus is still turned toward a closed door. Life may be trying to reach you in new ways, but hurt keeps asking you to look backward. Healing asks you to turn gently toward what is still possible. This does not mean you must force yourself to be happy. It does not mean you must pretend everything is light. It means you begin to honor the truth that your energy needs care. Your peace needs protection. Your heart needs rest from the same old weight. You are allowed to stop feeding what keeps making you feel unwell inside. You are allowed to choose what supports your spirit. You are allowed to become careful with your attention, because attention is one of the ways you love yourself. Think about how different your life could feel if the energy you gave to worry came back to your own growth. If the energy you gave to replaying pain came back to your own peace. If the energy you gave to waiting came back to your own dreams. If the energy you gave to proving your worth came back to knowing your worth, you would not become empty. You would become stronger. You would not become careless. You would become clearer. You would not lose yourself. You would finally find the parts of you that have been hidden under the weight of hurt. This is the beginning of a new inner direction. Instead of asking, "Why did this hurt me so much?" you begin asking, "What part of me needs care now?" Instead of asking, "Why did they not choose me?" you begin asking, "Where have I not been choosing myself?" Instead of asking, "How do I make the outside change?" you begin asking, "How do I come back to my own peace?" These questions bring your power home. They do not keep you trapped in the wound. They guide you toward healing. Your energy changes when your questions change. Your life changes when your focus changes. Your heart changes when you stop treating pain like it is your teacher forever. Pain may teach you something, but it is not meant to be your home. It may show you where you need healing, but it is not meant to hold your future. It may open your eyes, but it is not meant to close your heart. There is a quiet strength in refusing to feed what keeps hurting you, not with anger, not with bitterness, not with a desire to punish anyone, but with deep respect for your own soul. You can say inside yourself, "I see what this has cost me. I see how tired I have become. I see how much of myself I have given away. And now I choose to return. I choose to bring my thoughts back. I choose to bring my love back. I choose to bring my attention back. I choose to bring my life back." This is how life begins to change. Not always through one big moment, but through many quiet choices. Choosing not to replay the same old pain. Choosing not to measure your worth through someone else's actions. Choosing not to keep touching the wound just to see if it still hurts. Choosing not to make your future pay for what the past did. Choosing to care for your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Choosing to give your energy to what helps you rise. And as your energy returns, you may notice something soft and beautiful. Your peace becomes less dependent on outside behavior. Your mood becomes less controlled by old memories. Your heart becomes less hungry for what once felt necessary. You begin to feel your own presence again. You begin to remember that you are allowed to live a life that does not revolve around pain. You begin to feel that focusing on yourself is not the end of love. It is the beginning of real love. because real love cannot grow where you keep abandoning yourself. What hurts you is not your home. It may have felt familiar for a long time. It may have taken up space in your thoughts. It may have shaped the way you moved, trusted, hoped, and protected yourself. But familiar does not mean safe. Familiar does not mean right. Familiar does not mean meant for you. Sometimes the heart returns to pain, not because the pain is good, but because the heart has not yet learned that peace can feel safe too. You were not created to live inside worry. You were not created to keep reaching for what makes you feel small. You were not created to spend your days proving that you are worthy of care. You were not created to keep giving your energy to what leaves your spirit tired. Your life is more than the hurt you have carried. Your heart is more than the wound it survived. Your future is more than the pattern you are learning to leave. There is a deeper truth waiting beneath the pain. You are not the rejection. You are not the silence. You are not the disappointment. You are not the mistake. You are not the ending. You are not the confusion someone left inside you. You are not the version of yourself that stayed too long, cared too much, trusted too deeply, or hoped too hard. You are the one who is waking up now. You are the one who is learning. You are the one who is coming back to life. What hurt you may have changed you, but it does not get to name you. It may have made you more careful, but it does not get to close your heart forever. It may have made you tired, but it does not get to steal your joy forever. It may have made you question yourself, but it does not get to decide your worth. Your worth is not something pain can remove. Your worth is not something another person can lower. Your worth is not something the past can erase. Your worth is steady even when your feelings are not. When you begin to understand this, something inside you softens. You stop fighting yourself for being hurt. You stop judging yourself for needing time. You stop calling yourself weak because you cared. You stop making your emotions an enemy. You begin to see that your heart was doing the best it could with what it knew. It wanted love. It wanted safety. It wanted understanding. It wanted something to finally feel certain. There is nothing shameful about that. But now your heart is learning a higher kind of love, the kind that does not abandon itself to keep someone or something close. This is where focusing on yourself becomes sacred. It is not about turning away from life. It is about turning toward the part of you that has been waiting. It is about asking yourself what you need now. It is about choosing thoughts that heal instead of thoughts that reopen the same wound. It is about giving your body rest from stress. It is about giving your heart kindness instead of criticism. It is about giving your future a chance to be different from your past. You may feel guilty when you first begin choosing yourself. This guilt can appear because you are used to giving more than you receive. You are used to thinking about how everyone else feels. You are used to making space for other people's needs, moods, choices, and wounds. So when you finally turn your attention back to yourself, it may feel strange. It may feel uncomfortable. It may feel like you are doing something wrong, but you are not doing something wrong. You are correcting an imbalance. You are returning energy to the place where your life is actually lived. You cannot heal while you keep making the hurt more important than your own peace. You cannot grow while you keep asking the same wound for permission to move forward. You cannot feel free while you keep looking back for proof that you mattered. You mattered then. You matter now. You matter even if someone did not see it. You matter even if something did not work. You matter even if the answer never came. You matter because your life is sacred, not because the outside world finally agrees. What hurts you may call for your attention, but you do not have to answer every time. A memory may rise, but you do not have to follow it all the way down. A fear may speak, but you do not have to build a home around it. An old feeling may return, but you do not have to let it lead your whole day. You can notice it. You can be gentle with it, and then you can bring your focus back to yourself, back to your peace, back to what is real in this moment, back to the life that still needs you. This is not denial. This is wisdom. Denial says, nothing hurt me. Wisdom says, this hurt me, but I will not let it own me. Denial says, I do not care. Wisdom says, I care deeply, and now I must care for myself too. Denial says, I am fine. Wisdom says, I am healing, and my healing deserves my energy. There is a deep difference. You are not being asked to bury your pain. You are being guided to stop worshiping it with your attention. There are things in life that only change when you stop feeding the old cycle. The cycle of overthinking. The cycle of checking. The cycle of waiting. The cycle of blaming yourself. The cycle of trying to earn love by giving more of yourself away. The cycle of believing that if you suffer enough, something will finally become fair. But suffering is not proof of love. Exhaustion is not proof of loyalty. Losing yourself is not proof that something mattered. You can honor what mattered without continuing to hurt yourself for it. Your spirit knows when a place is no longer good for your peace. Your body knows. Your heart knows. Even when your mind tries to argue, something inside you can feel the truth. It feels heavy. It feels tight. It feels like you are shrinking. It feels like you are walking away from yourself. That inner feeling is guidance. It is not here to punish you. It is here to bring you back. It is saying, this is not where your energy belongs anymore. When you stop giving energy to what hurts you, you create space. And space is where life begins to move again. Space for new thoughts. Space for calm. Space for clarity. Space for better choices. space for healthier love, space for the quiet voice within you. At first, this space may feel empty because you are used to filling it with worry. But emptiness is not always loss. Sometimes emptiness is the room healing needs. Sometimes emptiness is the place where peace begins to enter. You do not need to know every next step to begin choosing yourself. You do not need to feel completely strong. You do not need to have every answer. You only need to begin turning your energy in a new direction. Instead of feeding the question that hurts, feed the truth that heals. Instead of feeding the fear that you are behind, feed the belief that life can still meet you gently. Instead of feeding the thought that you were not enough, feed the truth that you are worthy right now. Instead of feeding the ache for what did not stay, feed the part of you that is still here. Your focus is a form of love. When you focus on the wound all day, the wound receives your love. When you focus on your healing receives your love. When you focus on what rejected you, rejection becomes larger in your mind. When you focus on your own growth, your spirit becomes stronger. This is why your focus matters so much. It is not a small thing. It is the way you build your inner life. Life changes when your energy comes home. You begin to feel less pulled by things that once controlled you. You begin to see that peace is not found by winning the attention of what hurt you. Peace is found by no longer needing that attention to feel whole. You begin to understand that your life can become beautiful again, not because the past becomes beautiful, but because you stop letting the past use all your light. There is a version of you waiting beyond this old pain, a calmer version, a clearer version, a version that does not chase what drains them, a version that does not confuse anxiety with love, a version that does not keep giving sacred energy to closed doors, a version that can care deeply and still choose peace, a version that trusts life more because it trusts itself more. That version is not far away. That version begins each time you choose yourself over the old hurt. So let this become the truth you return to. What hurts you is not your home. Your home is within you. Your home is your peace. Your home is your self-respect. Your home is the quiet place inside where you remember who you are. Your home is not the memory that broke you. Your home is not the person who confused you. Your home is not the situation that kept taking from you. Your home is the life inside you that still wants to rise. You are allowed to leave the inner place where you have been suffering. You are allowed to stop visiting the same pain every day. You are allowed to stop giving your best energy to what does not give peace back. You are allowed to focus on yourself now. Not because you hate what hurt you, but because you love yourself enough to heal. Not because you are giving up on life, but because you are finally giving life a real chance to reach you. And as you bring your energy back, you may begin to feel something simple and powerful. You are still here. You are still worthy. You are still loved by life. You are still able to grow. You are still able to become peaceful. You are still able to receive good. You are still able to build a life that feels lighter than the one you have been carrying. The hurt was not the end of you. It was a place you passed through. It was not your final home. Your life is calling you back. Your heart is calling you back. Your peace is calling you back. And this time, you do not have to give your energy away to answer. You only have to return to yourself. Your mind listens to what you keep giving attention to. It may not always listen to what you say you want, but it listens to what you feed every day. If you keep feeding the hurt begins to feel bigger than your peace. If you keep feeding the memory begins to feel stronger than the present. If you keep feeding the fear begins to feel more real than your own inner strength. This is why your focus matters. Your mind takes repeated attention as instruction. It begins to believe that what you return to again and again must be important, must be true, must be part of who you are. This does not mean you are doing something wrong because you feel pain. Pain is part of being human. It means you are learning that your attention is powerful. Your thoughts are not empty. Your words are not empty. Your emotions are not empty. They are like small messages you keep sending to your inner world. When the same message is sent again and again, your inner world begins to build around it. If the message is, I am hurt, I am unwanted, I am not safe, I am not enough, then your heart begins to move through life with that feeling. But if the message becomes, I am healing, I am worthy, I am safe to return to myself, I am allowed to have peace, then your inner world begins to soften in a new direction. The subconscious mind learns through repetition. It learns from what you hear often, what you say often, what you think often, and what you feel often. It does not always stop and ask if the thought is true. It does not always ask if the pain is fair. It simply notices what keeps coming back. If the same fear keeps coming back, the mind begins to treat that fear like reality. If the same wound keeps getting your attention, the mind begins to build paths back to that wound. This is why some thoughts feel automatic. You did not choose them with full awareness every time. They became familiar because they were repeated. When you keep giving energy to what hurts you, your mind starts making a home around that hurt. It begins to expect disappointment. It begins to look for signs of rejection. It begins to prepare for pain before anything even happens. You may notice that you become sensitive to small changes. A delayed reply may feel like abandonment. A quiet moment may feel like danger. A simple mistake may feel like proof that life is against you. This does not happen because you are weak. It happens because your inner world has been trained to protect you from pain by watching for pain everywhere. But what protects you at first can begin to imprison you later. The mind tries to keep you safe by remembering what hurt you. It says, do not forget this. Do not relax too much. Do not trust too easily. Do not open your heart. Do not believe good can stay. And while that voice may be trying to protect you, it can also keep you from receiving peace. It can keep you tied to what happened instead of open to what is possible. This is why healing is not only about removing pain. Healing is about teaching the mind that a new life is safe. Your attention is like food for your inner world. Whatever receives it begins to grow. If you feed resentment, resentment grows. If you feed worry, worry grows. If you feed self-blame, self-blame grows. If you feed old pain grows roots. But if you feed peace, peace grows. If you feed self-love, self-love grows. If you feed trust, trust grows. If you feed your own healing, healing becomes stronger. This is simple, but it is powerful. Life begins to change when you stop feeding the old pattern and start feeding the new truth. Think about how often the mind repeats what hurts. It may replay the same words. It may replay the same moment. It may imagine what you should have said, what you should have done, what should have been different. It may create stories about what the future will look like because of what the past felt like. And each time this happens, the body feels some part of that pain again. Your heart tightens. Your energy drops. Your peace leaves the room. Even if nothing new has happened, your inner world feels as if the hurt is happening again. This is why focusing on yourself is so important. When you focus on yourself, you begin to give your mind new food. You begin to ask different questions. Not, why did this hurt me so much, but what do I need now? Not, why was I not chosen, but how can I choose myself today? Not, why did life allow this, but what is life teaching me about my own worth? These new questions do not erase the past, but they stop making the past the leader of your inner world. They create new paths inside you. They show your mind where your energy belongs now. Your mind will not always change in one clear moment. It changes through gentle return. Each time you notice yourself feeding the hurt and choose to feed your healing instead, something inside you learns. Each time you stop replaying what drained you and return to what supports you, something inside you shifts. Each time you choose a kind thought over a harsh one, your inner world receives a new message. The message is, I am no longer building my life around what hurt me. I am building my life around what helps me become whole. This is the quiet work of transformation. It is not always visible from the outside. People may not see it happening. No one may clap for you when you choose peace instead of pain. No one may notice when you refuse to follow an old thought all the way into sadness. No one may know when you quietly bring your energy back to yourself. But your spirit knows. Your body knows. Your heart knows. And over time, life begins to know too, because the energy you carry becomes different. When your mind has been feeding pain for a long time, peace may feel unfamiliar at first. Calm may feel strange. Letting go may feel unsafe. Focusing on yourself may feel uncomfortable. This does not mean peace is wrong. It means your inner world is learning something new. Sometimes people return to pain because pain feels known. They may not like it, but they understand it. Peace, on the other hand, may require trust. It may ask you to stop checking, stop chasing, stop rehearsing every fear, and stop needing pain as proof that something mattered. That can feel new, but new does not mean dangerous. Sometimes new means freedom. Your mind needs loving direction. It does not need punishment. It does not need you to say harsh things to yourself because you are still healing. It does not need you to feel ashamed for caring too much or staying too long or thinking about what hurt you. Shame only feeds the wound again. Kind direction says, I understand why I keep returning to this, but I am choosing a new place to rest my energy. I understand why this hurts, but I will not let it become my whole identity. I understand why my mind wants answers, but I will not trade my peace for endless questions. There is power in speaking differently to yourself. If you keep saying, I cannot stop thinking about this, your mind hears that as a fixed truth. If you keep saying, I always get hurt, your mind hears that as your story. If you keep saying, nothing changes for me, your mind begins to look for proof. But when you begin saying, I am learning to return to myself, something opens. When you say, I can choose where my energy goes, something strengthens. When you say, my life is not finished because of what hurt me, something inside you begins to rise. Words are seeds in the mind. Some seeds create fear. Some seeds create courage. Some seeds create heaviness. Some seeds create peace. You do not have to speak perfectly. You do not have to control every thought, but you can become more aware of what you are planting. You can notice when your words are making the wound larger. You can notice when your inner language is keeping you tied to pain. And then you can choose words that help you heal instead of words that keep you trapped. When the mind keeps feeding what hurts, the body often carries the weight. You may feel tired without knowing why. You may feel tense even in quiet moments. You may feel restless when there is nothing to solve. You may feel like your peace depends on someone else's behavior or on something outside changing. This is the body responding to the inner story. It is trying to live inside the energy you keep feeding. If that energy is fear, the body stays alert. If that energy is pain, the body feels heavy. If that energy is peace, the body slowly learns to soften. This is why your healing is not only mental, it is emotional, spiritual, and physical. When you stop giving energy to what hurts you, your whole being begins to receive relief. Your mind becomes less crowded. Your body becomes less tense. Your heart becomes less desperate for answers. Your spirit begins to feel like it has room again. You are not forcing life. You are simply no longer using your life force to keep pain alive. The old pattern may still try to call you back. It may come as a sudden memory. It may come as a familiar ache. It may come as the desire to check, compare, explain, or imagine one more outcome. But now you can meet it differently. You can say within yourself, I see this old path, but I do not have to walk it again. I see this feeling, but I do not have to feed it with my whole day. I see this memory, but I do not have to make it my home. This is how power returns, not through force, but through choice. Your mind follows what you keep feeding. So feed the truth. Feed the part of you that knows you deserve peace. Feed the part of you that is ready to grow. Feed the part of you that wants to wake up with at the same heavy story. Feed the part of you that believes life can become softer. Feed the part of you that is still open to good things. Feed the part of you that knows your worth is not decided by what hurt you. You are not here to keep watering old pain. You are here to grow beyond it. You are here to become more loving toward yourself. You are here to remember that your attention can become a healing force. You are here to learn that the mind can be guided back to peace. It may take time. It may take patience. It may take many small returns to yourself, but every return matters. Every loving thought matters. Every moment you choose not to feed the wound matters. Every time you give energy to your own healing, you are building a different inner life. And as that inner life changes, your outer life begins to feel different too. You start making choices from self-respect instead of fear. You start noticing what supports you and what drains you. You start walking away from patterns that once felt impossible to leave. You start becoming less available to confusion, less hungry for approval, less attached to what does not feel peaceful. This is not because you have become cold. It is because your energy is no longer trapped in the old place. It is coming home. Many of the patterns that hurt you did not begin today. They often began long before you understood what was happening. Somewhere along the way, you may have learned to look outside yourself for proof that you were enough. You may have learned to wait for love before you felt lovable. You may have learned to wait for approval before you trusted your own choices. You may have learned to wait for someone else to see your worth before you allowed yourself to feel worthy. And because this became familiar, it may have felt natural to give your energy away. When a person learns to look outside themselves for safety, they begin to measure their peace by what others do. If someone is kind, they feel calm. If someone pulls away, they feel afraid. If someone praises them, they feel good enough. If someone ignores them, they begin to question themselves. This creates a painful way of living because your inner world becomes tied to things you cannot control. Your peace rises and falls with every outside signal. Your heart becomes tired from waiting for the world to tell you who you are. This is not your fault. It is a pattern, and patterns can change. You may have learned it through early experiences, through relationships, through disappointment, through being told to be pleasing, quiet, strong, useful, patient, or easy to love. You may have learned that your needs were too much, your feelings were too much, your voice was too much, or your softness was a problem. So you began to place your focus outside yourself. You watched how others reacted. You tried to become what would be accepted. You tried to avoid being left, judged, rejected, or misunderstood. But when you spend too much of life watching the outside, you begin to lose touch with the inside. You may know what others need before you know what you need. You may know how to comfort someone else before you know how to comfort yourself. You may know how to forgive others before you know how to protect your own heart. You may know how to show up for everyone, yet feel alone inside your own life. This is the cost of always looking outward. You become skilled at reading the world, but disconnected from your own spirit. Focusing on yourself is the way back. It is not selfish to ask what you feel. It is not selfish to ask what you need. It is not selfish to ask whether something is good for your peace. It is not selfish to stop giving all your energy to people, memories, and situations that keep taking without giving back. It is not selfish to become loyal to your own healing. In fact, this is one of the most loving things you can do, because when you come back to yourself, you stop needing pain to teach you the same lesson again and again. There may have been a time when you believed love meant losing yourself. You may have thought that if you gave more, stayed longer, explained better, waited quietly, or carried the pain without complaining, then something would finally change. You may have thought that being chosen by what hurt you would heal the wound. But true healing does not come from being chosen by the source of your pain. True healing begins when you choose not to abandon yourself anymore. You can love others and still choose yourself. You can care deeply and still protect your peace. You can forgive and still stop giving access to your energy. You can understand someone's pain and still not allow it to become your burden. You can wish good for others and still walk toward your own life. This balance may feel new if you were taught that love means giving everything away. But real love does not ask you to disappear. Real love makes room for your soul too. Sometimes the reason you keep giving energy to what hurts you is because you are waiting for it to give you the feeling you never fully received. You may be waiting to feel important, waiting to feel chosen, waiting to feel understood, waiting to feel safe, waiting to feel like your love mattered. But when you wait for the outside to give you what your spirit needs from within, you can wait for a very long time. Not because you are undeserving, but because you are searching in a place that may not have the capacity to give it. This is a hard truth, but it is also freeing. Not every place can love you the way you need. Not every person can meet you with the care you deserve. Not every situation can become peaceful just because your heart is sincere. You can have a good heart and still be in the wrong place for your peace. You can give deeply and still not receive deeply. You can try your best and still need to leave your energy there no longer. Acceptance is not defeat. Acceptance is the moment you stop arguing with what has already shown you its pattern. Your spirit may have been whispering this for a while. It may have been telling you that you feel drained because your energy is not where it belongs. It may have been showing you through your tiredness, your sadness, your tension, your lack of joy, your quiet heaviness. These signs are not here to make you feel bad. They are here to guide you home. They are asking you to stop living from the outside in and begin living from the inside out. Living from the outside in means the world decides your mood. Someone else's attention decides your worth. The past decides your future. Old pain decides what you believe is possible. But living from the inside out means your inner truth becomes the center. Your self-respect becomes the guide. Your peace becomes important. Your healing becomes a real part of your daily life. You stop asking every outside thing to tell you if you are enough, because you begin to build that knowing within yourself. This does not happen by becoming hard. It happens by becoming honest. Honest about what drains you. Honest about what you keep hoping will change. Honest about where you keep giving more than your heart can afford. Honest about the difference between love and need. Honest about the ways you may have been leaving yourself in order to keep something else close. Honesty is not meant to hurt you. It is meant to free you. When you begin to focus on yourself, you may meet old beliefs. One belief may say, I am only worthy if someone wants me. Another may say, I must keep giving or I will be left. Another may say, my needs are not important. Another may say, peace will come when the outside changes. These beliefs may feel strong because they have been carried for a long time. But a belief is not always truth. Sometimes a belief is only a repeated pain that was never questioned. You can begin questioning these beliefs gently. Is it true that I must lose myself to be loved? Is it true that my worth depends on someone else's attention? Is it true that I must keep giving energy to what hurts me? Is it true that I cannot be peaceful until the past explains itself? As you ask these questions, space begins to open, and in that space, a new truth can enter. I can choose myself and still be loving. I can protect my peace and still have a good heart. I can let go of what hurts and still honor what I learned. I can return to myself without guilt. The old pattern taught you to search outside. Healing teaches you to listen inside. Outside, there may be noise, confusion, delay, mixed signals, opinions, and old wounds. Inside, beneath the fear, there is a quiet knowing. It may not shout. It may not explain everything. But it knows when something is not good for your spirit. It knows when your energy is being drained. It knows when you are shrinking. It knows when you are betraying your own peace. And it knows when it is time to come back. Coming back to yourself may look simple, but it is powerful. It may mean choosing rest instead of replaying the pain. It may mean choosing silence instead of explaining to someone who does not listen. It may mean choosing self-respect instead of chasing. It may mean choosing to care for your own life instead of waiting for another person to value it. It may mean speaking kindly to yourself when old shame appears. It may mean reminding your heart that love should not require self-abandonment. This is the kind of change that begins quietly but becomes strong over time. At first, you may still feel pulled outward. You may still want answers. You may still wonder if you should give more energy to what hurt you. But each time you return to yourself, you break the old training. Each time you choose your peace, you teach your heart a new way to live. Each time you focus on your own healing, you tell your mind that your life matters too. You are not wrong for wanting love. You are not wrong for wanting care. You are not wrong for wanting to be understood. These are human needs, but you are now learning that you cannot keep sacrificing yourself to receive them. You are learning that the love you seek must also be practiced within you. You are learning that the care you offer others must also be offered to your own heart. You are learning that being understood by yourself is a deep form of freedom. There is nothing small about choosing yourself after a long time of giving yourself away. It is a spiritual return. It is the moment your energy begins to move back into your own body, your own heart, your own life. It is the moment you stop asking pain to tell you who you are. It is the moment you begin to build a new relationship with yourself, one based on kindness, trust, and protection. You learn to look outside yourself, but now you can learn to come home. You learn to give energy away, but now you can learn to keep some sacred energy for your own healing. You learned to wait for others to choose you, but now you can choose yourself in quiet and steady ways. This is how life changes. It changes when you stop living as though your worth is somewhere outside you. It changes when you begin to understand that the peace you are searching for is not found in the place that keeps hurting you. It begins within you. Energy flows where attention goes. This is one of the simplest spiritual truths, but it can change the way you live. Whatever holds your attention begins to receive your life force. Whatever you keep thinking about begins to take space in your inner world. Whatever you keep speaking about begins to shape your feelings. Whatever you keep expecting begins to color the way you see life. Your attention is not weak. It is creative. It is powerful. It is one of the ways your spirit says, "This matters to me." If your attention is always on what hurts, your energy keeps moving toward pain. If your attention is always on what disappointed you, your energy keeps moving toward disappointment. If your attention is always on what did not choose you, your energy keeps moving toward rejection. And the more energy you send there, the bigger it feels. Not always because it is growing in reality, but because it is growing inside your focus. What you focus on becomes louder. What you feed becomes stronger. What you return to becomes familiar. This is why your life can begin to change when your attention changes. You do not always need to force a new reality from the outside. You begin by changing what you are giving your inner power to. When your attention moves from pain to healing, your energy follows. When your attention moves from fear to peace, your energy follows. When your attention moves from chasing to self-respect, your energy follows. When your attention moves from what is missing to what is growing within you, your energy follows. This does not mean you ignore what hurt you. It means you stop making it the center of your life. There is a difference between seeing pain and serving pain. There is a difference between learning from pain and living for pain. There is a difference between feeling something deeply and giving it control over your entire future. Spiritual growth is not about pretending the wound never existed. It is about refusing to let the wound become your identity. Your attention is like a light. When you shine it on the same hurt every day, the hurt becomes the brightest thing in your inner world. You may still have blessings, but you cannot feel them clearly. You may still have opportunities, but you do not notice them. You may still have people who care, but your heart is busy looking at who did not. You may still have strength, but your mind is focused on where you feel weak. This is how attention shapes experience. It does not create every event, but it changes what becomes large inside you. When you begin focusing on yourself, you are not turning away from life. You are turning your light back toward the source of your life. You are saying, "My healing matters. My peace matters. My body matters. My mind matters. My future matters. My joy matters. My relationship with myself matters." And when these things receive your attention, they begin to grow. The part of you that felt ignored begins to feel seen. The part of you that felt drained begins to receive care. The part of you that felt powerless begins to remember choice. Life responds to the energy you carry. This does not mean life will never bring challenges. It means the way you meet life begins to shift. When you carry the energy of chasing, you may keep reaching for what moves away. When you carry the energy of fear, you may keep choosing what feels familiar instead of what feels healthy. When you carry the energy of low worth, you may accept less than your heart needs. But when you begin carrying the energy of self-respect, your choices change, your boundaries change, your patience changes, your silence changes, your direction changes. This is how the outside begins to change. Not because you forced everyone to act differently, but because you are no longer acting from the same wound. You stop entering the same cycle with the same energy. You stop giving the same amount of access to what drains you. You stop looking for peace from the place that disturbed it. You stop making your life a response to pain. And when your energy changes, your path begins to feel different. The old version of you may have used energy to chase answers. The healing version of you uses energy to build peace. The old version may have used energy to prove worth. The healing version uses energy to remember worth. The old version may have used energy to hold on to what was hurting. The healing version uses energy to open space for what is healthy. This is not a small change. This is a deep spiritual shift. It is the movement from self-abandonment to self-return. Energy flows where attention goes, so you must become gentle but honest about what has your attention. What do you think about when your mind is quiet? What do you check when you feel unsure? What story do you keep repeating inside? What pain still receives your best emotional strength? What fear keeps taking your peace? These questions are not meant to judge you. They are meant to wake you up. Because once you see where your energy is going, you can begin choosing where it belongs. Your energy belongs in your healing. It belongs in your peace. It belongs in your body. It belongs in your dreams. It belongs in your relationship with yourself. It belongs in the life you are building now. It does not belong in endless worry. It does not belong in old rejection. It does not belong in trying to change what refuses to meet you with care. It does not belong in proving your heart to what keeps misunderstanding it. You can love, bless, release, and still bring your energy home. Sometimes bringing your energy home means accepting that you cannot heal in the same inner place where you keep wounding yourself. If the thought hurts every time you feed it, you may need to stop feeding it. If the memory pulls you away from your peace every time you enter it, you may need to stop living there. If the hope keeps becoming pain, you may need to ask whether it is truly hope or whether it is attachment wearing the face of hope. These are deep questions, but they open the door to freedom. Not everything that asks for your attention deserves your energy. A fear can ask, a memory can ask, an old desire can ask, a person can ask, a regret can ask. But you are allowed to choose. You are allowed to say, "This does not get the best of me anymore." You are allowed to say, "I will not spend my whole life feeding a wound that is asking to be healed." You are allowed to say, "My energy is sacred and I am learning to place it where life grows. When you focus on yourself, your energy begins to become cleaner, not perfect, but clearer. You begin to notice what feels peaceful and what feels heavy. You begin to feel when you are acting from love and when you are acting from fear. You begin to sense when you are giving from fullness and when you are giving from the hope that someone will finally see you. This awareness is powerful. It helps you stop repeating patterns that once felt automatic. Your attention also teaches life what you are available for. If you keep giving attention to confusion, you may stay available to confusion. If you keep giving attention to disrespect, you may keep making room for disrespect. If you keep giving attention to what drains you, you may keep shaping your life around exhaustion. But when you give attention to peace, you become more available to peace. When you give attention to self-worth, you become less available to anything that denies it. When you give attention to healing, you begin to notice paths that support your healing. This is not about blame. It is about power. Blame says, I caused all of my pain. Power says, I can choose how I move forward. Blame makes you feel heavy. Power helps you stand up inside yourself. You did not choose every wound. You did not choose every disappointment. You did not choose every hard thing that happened. But you can choose not to give those things the rest of your life. You can choose not to let pain keep eating from your future. You can choose to place your attention on what helps you rise. The moment you begin doing this, your inner world may resist. The old pain may say, but think about me. The old fear may say, but what if letting go means losing something? The old habit may say, but this is who you have been for so long. You can hear those voices without obeying them. You can be kind to the part of you that is afraid and still move your attention toward peace. You can understand the old pattern and still choose a new one. Spiritual change often begins with where you place your focus. Focus is not only mental. Focus is emotional direction. It is the place where your heart keeps leaning. If your heart keeps leaning toward what hurts, you will feel pulled down. If your heart begins leaning toward healing, you will feel supported from within. The outside may not change immediately, but your relationship with life begins to change. You begin to feel less controlled by old pain. You begin to feel more guided by inner peace. This is the quiet miracle of choosing yourself. You stop sending your best energy away from your own life. You stop waiting for something outside to give you permission to feel whole. You stop asking the wound to become the healer. You stop asking the past to open the future. You begin to understand that the power you were giving away was always meant to help you grow. Your attention becomes a prayer without words. When you focus on fear, you are silently asking fear to lead. When you focus on peace, you are silently inviting peace to grow. When you focus on self-love, you are telling your inner world that you are worthy of care. When you focus on healing, you are telling life that you are ready to meet yourself differently. This is why small inner shifts matter. They may seem quiet, but they change the direction of your energy. Begin giving attention to what makes your spirit feel alive. Give attention to the thoughts that strengthen you. Give attention to the people who meet you with peace. Give attention to the choices that help you respect yourself. Give attention to the dreams you almost forgot because pain was too loud. Give attention to your body when it asks for rest. Give attention to your heart when it asks for kindness. Give attention to your future when it asks for hope. As your attention changes, your energy returns. As your energy returns, your choices become clearer. As your choices become clearer, your life begins to shift. You may stop needing the same things. You may stop chasing the same places. You may stop explaining yourself to what refuses to understand. You may stop shrinking to keep what was never giving you peace. And then, quietly, life begins to feel more open. This is not magic in a childish way. This is spiritual law in a simple way. What you feed grows. What you focus on expands. What you give energy to becomes stronger in your inner world. So choose with love. Choose with care. Choose with respect for the life inside you. Stop giving energy to what hurts you. Begin giving energy to what heals you. Focus on yourself, not because the world does not matter, but because your inner world is the place where your whole life begins. There comes a moment when your soul gets tired of chasing what drains it, not because you stopped caring, not because your heart became cold, not because you suddenly forgot what you felt, but because something deep inside you begins to understand that love, peace, and worth cannot be won by losing yourself. You can keep reaching for what hurts you, but every reach takes something from you. Every reach pulls your energy away from your own life. Every reach tells your heart that peace is somewhere outside of you, when the truth is, peace begins when you return to yourself. Chasing does not always look loud. Sometimes chasing happens quietly in the mind. It is checking for signs. It is replaying old words. It is waiting for a message, a change, a reason, or a moment that makes the pain make sense. It is trying to understand why something did not become what you hoped it would be. It is holding your heart open to a place that keeps giving you confusion. It is giving your best emotional energy to something that gives very little peace back. And because it happens inside, others may not see how tired you are. But you feel it. Your spirit feels it. You may have thought that if you gave more, something would finally soften. If you explained more, something would finally be understood. If you waited longer, something would finally become clear. If you loved harder, something would finally love you back in the way you needed. But the path of healing begins when you stop believing that more self-abandonment will create more love. What is meant to nourish you will not require you to keep emptying yourself. What is meant to bring peace will not keep asking you to live in fear. What is meant to be aligned with your spirit will not keep pulling you away from your own center. The thing that drains you may not always be a person. It may be a memory. It may be a belief. It may be an old mistake. It may be a dream that changed. It may be a regret that keeps speaking. It may be an image of life that you keep wishing had happened differently. Whatever it is, if it keeps taking your peace and never brings healing, it is asking for energy it no longer deserves. You do not need to hate it. You do not need to fight it. You do not need to force yourself to stop feeling. You only need to notice that your energy is being pulled away from the life that is waiting for you now. Many people confuse attachment with love. Attachment says, I cannot be peaceful unless this changes. Love says, I can care and still choose peace. Attachment says, I must keep holding on or I will lose myself. Love says, I do not lose myself when I return to myself. Attachment says, I need this to prove I am worthy. Love says, I was worthy before this and I am worthy after this. This difference matters because attachment keeps your energy tied to fear, while love allows your energy to move with truth. When you chase what drains you, your nervous system lives in a state of waiting. Your mind keeps looking for the next sign. Your heart keeps preparing for the next disappointment. Your body keeps holding tension because it does not know whether peace is safe. You may call it hope, but sometimes it is fear wearing gentle clothing. Fear of letting go, fear of being forgotten, fear of starting again, fear that if you stop chasing, nothing will come for you. But life cannot bring you what is aligned while your hands are full of what keeps hurting you. Stopping the chase does not mean you stop wanting good things. It means you stop trying to receive them from places that keep closing your heart. It means you stop trying to turn confusion into comfort. It means you stop trying to make a painful pattern become your peace. It means you stop asking what hurt you to become your healer. This is a sacred shift. It is the moment you stop pouring your life force into what is not feeding your soul. Your energy has been trying to return to you for a long time. It has been showing up as tiredness. It has been showing up as heaviness. It has been showing up as the quiet feeling that you cannot keep going in the same way. It has been showing up as the inner knowing that something must change. You may have ignored that knowing because the old pattern felt familiar. You may have told yourself to be patient. You may have told yourself to keep trying. You may have told yourself that caring means staying emotionally available to whatever keeps hurting you. But your body and spirit know the truth. There is a difference between patience and losing yourself. You do not have to keep proving your heart. You do not have to keep showing how much you care by accepting less peace. You do not have to keep revisiting the same pain so it feels important. Pain does not become more meaningful because you suffer longer. Love does not become more real because you lose more of yourself. Your loyalty to your own healing must now become stronger than your loyalty to what wounded you. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stop following the old pull. Stop following the thought that says you must check again. Stop following the fear that says you are nothing without that outside answer. Stop following the belief that says peace will come only after someone else changes. Stop following the old hunger that wants to be chosen by what could not hold you with care. Come back to your own inner ground. Come back to your own breath, your own body, your own heart, your own life. You may feel the pull again. That does not mean you failed. It means the old pattern is still trying to survive. Old patterns do not always leave simply because you have seen the truth. They fade when you stop feeding them. They fade when you choose differently with love. They fade when you return to yourself without attacking yourself. Every time you do not hand over your peace to the same old wound, you are becoming free. Every time you bring your thoughts back to what supports you, you are becoming stronger. Every time you choose self-respect over emotional hunger, you are teaching your heart a new way to live. There is a quiet dignity in no longer chasing what drains you. You do not need to announce it. You do not need to explain it to everyone. You do not need to prove that you are changing. The shift happens inside. Your energy becomes less available to pain. Your mind becomes less interested in confusion. Your heart becomes less willing to beg for peace from a place that keeps taking it away. This is not bitterness. This is balance. This is not giving up on love. This is finally understanding that real love must include you. When you stop chasing, space opens. At first, that space may feel strange. You may not know what to do with the energy that used to go into worry. You may not know what to do with the quiet that appears when you stop replaying old pain. But that space is not empty in a bad way. It is holy space. It is healing space. It is the space where your own life can begin speaking again. It is the space where new peace can enter. It is the space where you can hear what your heart has been trying to say beneath all the noise. Your life needs your energy. Your dreams need your energy. Your body needs your energy. Your peace needs your energy. Your future needs your energy. The love within you needs your energy. The parts of you that have been waiting to grow need your energy. You cannot keep giving your best energy to what hurts you and then wonder why you feel too tired to build something new. Your energy is not endless when it is constantly leaking into old pain. It becomes powerful when it is gathered, protected, and placed where healing can grow. Let your energy come back from the places that misused it. Let it come back from the memories that keep calling your name. Let it come back from the questions that never become answers. Let it come back from the need to be chosen, seen, or understood by what could not meet you fully. Let it come back from fear. Let it come back from regret. Let it come back from the life you thought you had to keep chasing. Your energy belongs with you now. This is not the end of your softness. This is the return of your wisdom. You can still be kind. You can still be loving. You can still wish good for others. But you no longer need to give your inner peace away to prove that your heart is good. You no longer need to live open to what keeps wounding you. You no longer need to keep walking toward a door that only teaches you to doubt yourself. A peaceful life begins when you stop knocking on what was never meant to be your home. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is sacred. It is the way you come back to the life that was always yours. For too long, you may have placed your attention everywhere except within. You may have watched what others were doing, what others were feeling, what others were choosing, what others were thinking, what others were giving or not giving. You may have spent so much time trying to understand another person, another situation, or another pain that you forgot to understand yourself. But now your spirit is asking for your own attention. There is no shame in choosing yourself. There is no shame in protecting your peace. There is no shame in asking what feels right for your heart. There is no shame in wanting a life that does not drain you. You were not placed here to abandon yourself until others approve of you. You were not placed here to live as though your needs are always last. You were not placed here to keep your heart open to what keeps hurting it. You are allowed to care for your own life with tenderness. Guilt may rise when you begin to focus on yourself. This is common when you have spent a long time giving too much. The mind may say you are being unfair. The old pattern may say you should still be thinking about them. Fear may say if you focus on yourself, you will lose something. But guilt is not always truth. Sometimes guilt is only the sound of an old roll breaking. Sometimes guilt appears when you stop being available for the same pain. Sometimes guilt comes because you are no longer doing what others expected from the old version of you. You can feel guilt and still choose healing. You can feel uncertain and still move toward peace. You can feel the old pull and still return to yourself. The presence of discomfort does not mean you are making the wrong choice. It may mean you are choosing a new way. And new ways often feel unfamiliar before they feel natural. The old pattern may feel easier because it is known. But easy is not always healthy. Familiar is not always safe. The path that leads you back to yourself may feel new, but it carries a deeper peace. Ask yourself with kindness, what do I need now? Not what does the pain need, not what does the old story need, not what does someone else expect from me. What do I need now? Do I need rest? Do I need quiet? Do I need space? Do I need honesty? Do I need to stop checking what hurts me? Do I need to forgive myself for staying too long? Do I need to begin again with more gentleness? These questions bring your energy inward. They remind your heart that you are allowed to matter in your own life. When you focus on yourself, you begin to rebuild trust within. You show yourself that you will not keep ignoring your own pain. You show yourself that you will not keep choosing what harms your peace. You show yourself that your feelings are worth listening to. You show yourself that your body is worth caring for. You show yourself that your dreams are worth protecting. This is how self-trust grows, not through big promises, but through steady inner care. Self-focus does not mean you stop loving others. It means you stop disappearing for them. It means you stop confusing love with self-neglect. It means you stop making your worth depend on how much pain you can carry quietly. Love becomes healthier when you are present with yourself. Care becomes cleaner when it does not come from fear. Giving becomes more joyful when it does not come from the hope that someone will finally see your value. When you focus on yourself, you do not lose your love. You purify it. There is a version of care that comes from emptiness, and there is a version of care that comes from wholeness. Care from emptiness says, I will give so you do not leave me. I will stay so I do not feel abandoned. I will silence myself so I do not disturb the peace. I will accept less because I fear asking for more. Care from wholeness says, I can love you and still honor myself. I can give without losing my center. I can be kind without betraying my spirit. I can care without carrying what is not mine. This is the balance your soul is learning now. You are learning to be soft without being self-forgetting. You are learning to be loving without becoming drained. You are learning to be open without allowing everything into your energy. You are learning to be hopeful without waiting forever in pain. You are learning to be peaceful without needing every person to understand you. This is real growth. This is the inner strength that does not need to shout. Focus on your body. Notice what it has been holding. Notice where stress has settled. Notice the heaviness that comes after certain thoughts. Notice the relief that comes when you choose quiet. Your body often tells the truth before your mind is ready to accept it. If something keeps making you tense, tired, small, or uneasy, listen. Your body is not trying to fight you. It is trying to guide you. It is saying, this energy does not feel safe. This direction is costing too much. Come back. Focus on your thoughts. Notice while either they help you heal or keep you tied to pain. Some thoughts may sound familiar, but they may not be kind. Some thoughts may feel true, but they may only be old fear speaking. A thought that says you are not enough is not wisdom. A thought that says you must chase to be loved is not truth. A thought that says your life is over because one thing hurt you is not guidance. You can choose thoughts that support your return. You can choose thoughts that speak to your worth. You can choose thoughts that help your heart breathe again. Focus on your words. Speak to yourself with more care. Let your inner language become a safe place. Instead of saying, I should be over this, Say, I am healing in a human way. Instead of saying, I always lose, say, I am learning to choose what is good for me. Instead of saying, I gave too much and now I am broken, say, I gave from a sincere heart and now I am learning to give to myself too. Words can wound, but words can also restore. Let your words become medicine for the places that were tired of being judged. Focus on your environment. Notice what you allow into your mind. Notice what you read, watch, listen to, and talk about. Notice what leaves you peaceful and what leaves you heavy. Your environment is not only the room you sit in, it is also the emotional air around you. It is the conversations you repeat. It is the voices you believe. It is the memories you keep alive. You are allowed to create a softer inner environment. You are allowed to protect your peace from constant noise. You're allowed to choose what supports your spirit. Focus on what brings life back into you. It may be simple things, quiet mornings, clean space, gentle music, honest writing, time outside, a calm conversation, a task completed with care, a choice made from self-respect, a moment where you do not return to the old hurt. These things may seem small, but they are not small to the soul. They are signs that your energy is moving in a better direction. They are proof that healing can happen through simple daily care. You may not know who you are without the old pain at first. That is okay. Pain can become so familiar that peace feels like a new language. Give yourself time to learn it. Give yourself permission to become someone who no longer needs chaos to feel connected. Give yourself permission to become someone who no longer mistakes longing for love. Give yourself permission to become someone who can rest inside their own presence. You are not losing yourself by changing. You are meeting yourself more deeply. Focusing on yourself means remembering your values. What kind of life feels peaceful to you? What kind of love feels safe to your spirit? What kind of choices make you respect yourself? What kind of thoughts help you feel strong? What kind of people help you feel seen without needing to perform? These questions help you build a life from the inside out. They stop your life from being built around wounds and beg, in building it around truth. You do not have to become perfect to choose yourself. You do not have to be fully healed to make a better choice. You do not have to feel brave all the time. You only need to stop abandoning yourself in the same old ways. Healing is not a straight road. Some days may feel easier, some days may feel heavy. But even on heavy days, you can choose not to give all your energy back to what hurts. You can choose one kind thought. You can choose one honest boundary. You can choose one gentle return to yourself. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation of every other part of life. When you are disconnected from yourself, You may seek too much outside. When you are cruel to yourself, you may accept cruelty from others. When you do not trust yourself, you may give your power to every outside opinion. But when you become kind to yourself, everything begins to change. You become less hungry for approval. You become less afraid of silence. You become less willing to trade peace for attention. You become more rooted. Focusing on yourself also means forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself for the energy you gave away when you did not know better. Forgive yourself for staying in thoughts that hurt you. Forgive yourself for hoping something would change. Forgive yourself for caring deeply. Forgive yourself for not leaving the old inner place sooner. You were learning. You were trying to survive. You were trying to love with the tools you had. Now you have new awareness, and awareness gives you a new path. Let this be the moment your energy turns toward your own healing without guilt. Let this be the moment you stop asking permission to care for yourself. Let this be the moment you understand that your peace is not an extra thing. It is part of your life. It is part of your health. It is part of your spiritual strength. You are allowed to guard it. You are allowed to grow it. You are allowed to choose it again and again. Focus on yourself, and you will begin to see what has been waiting beneath the noise. You will see your strength. You will see your softness. You will see your wisdom. You will see the part of you that still believes in life. You will see that you are not empty without the old pain. You are more available to yourself, more available to peace, more available to guidance, more available to love that does not require you to disappear. When your energy comes home, life begins to change from the inside first. You may not see every outer shift immediately, but you begin to feel something different within yourself. The same thoughts do not control you as strongly. The same memories do not pull you as deeply. The same fear does not decide your whole day. You start to feel a small space between you and the old pain. In that space, peace begins to grow. This is how life changes in a real way. Not through forcing, not through chasing, not through trying to control every outcome. Life changes whoa, and your inner position changes. When you stop standing in the energy of need, fear, and waiting, you begin to stand in the energy of self-respect, peace, and trust. From that place, your choices become different, your words become different, your silence becomes different, your boundaries become different, your presence becomes different. And because you are different inside, the world begins to meet you differently. You may notice that you no longer feel called to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You may notice that you no longer feel the same hunger for attention from what once drained you. You may notice that you do not need to reply, react, check, or prove as much as before. These changes may feel quiet, but they are powerful. They show that your energy is no longer trapped in the old cycle. They show that your peace is becoming more important than the need to be validated. When your energy comes home, your mind becomes clearer. Pain creates fog. It makes everything feel urgent. It makes small things feel large. It makes silence feel dangerous. It makes uncertainty feel like rejection. But when your energy returns, the fog begins to lift. You see what is truly yours and what was never yours to carry. You see where you were giving too much. You see where your heart was asking for care. You see that some things were not love, but attachment. Some things were not hope, but fear. Some things were not patience, but self-abandonment. This clarity is a gift. It may not always feel comfortable at first because clarity shows the truth. It shows where you have outgrown an old way. It shows where you can no longer lie to yourself. It shows where your peace has been asking for change. But clarity also brings freedom. Once you see clearly, you do not have to keep pretending confusion is home. You do not have to keep dressing pain as purpose. You do not have to keep calling something aligned when your spirit feels heavy every time you touch it. Your self-worth begins to rise when your energy comes home. Not because someone finally chooses you, not because the old situation finally changes, not because life suddenly gives you every answer. Your self-worth rises because you stop treating yourself like someone who must beg for peace. You stop placing your value in hands that were never careful with it. You stop allowing old pain to be the judge of who you are. You begin to understand that your worth was always within you, waiting for your own attention. As your worth rises, your standards change. You do not need to force them. They change naturally because you can no longer accept what feels like the old pain. You become more sensitive to what drains you, not in a weak way, but in a wise way. You begin to notice when your energy contracts. You begin to notice when your heart feels unsafe. You begin to notice when you are giving from fear instead of love. This awareness helps you choose better. It helps you step away sooner. It helps you protect what you once left unguarded. Life also changes because you stop chasing closed doors. A closed door can take a great amount of energy when you keep standing before it, asking it to open. But when you step back, you may finally see that life has other paths. You may finally notice the quiet openings that were hidden by your focus on what did not move. You may finally feel that not every loss is rejection. Sometimes it is redirection. Sometimes life removes what your heart would have kept choosing from fear. Sometimes what does not stay is making room for what can meet you with peace. This does not mean every painful thing was easy or fair. It means your life is still alive after it. It means the hurt does not get the final word. It means what left did not take your future with it. It means what disappointed you did not close every door. It means life can still bring you moments of joy, growth, love, and calm. The old pain may have been real, but it is not the whole truth of your life. When your energy comes home, you begin to attract differently because you begin to choose differently. You are no longer choosing from panic. You are no longer choosing from the fear of being alone. You are no longer choosing from the need to prove you are enough. You are no longer choosing from the old belief that love must feel heavy to be real. You begin choosing from a place of more peace, and choices made from peace create a different path. You may also begin to let go of things you used to force. You no longer force conversations that only leave you more confused. You no longer force yourself into spaces where your spirit feels small. You no longer force a connection that always requires you to lower your needs. You no longer force your heart to remain open where it keeps getting wounded. This does not make you difficult. It makes you honest. It makes you aligned with your own healing. The change in your life may begin with simple signs. You sleep with a little more ease. You wake up without the same heaviness. You feel more present in your own body. You laugh without feeling guilty. You enjoy small things again. You stop checking what used to control your mood. You begin making plans for yourself. You begin trusting your own feelings more. You begin seeing yourself with kinder eyes. These are not small changes. These are signs that your energy is returning to the right place. As your energy comes home, your relationship with the past changes. The past may still be part of your story, but it no longer becomes the place where your spirit lives. You can remember without being pulled under. You can feel without becoming lost. You can learn without punishing yourself. You can honor what happened without letting it rule what comes next. This is freedom. Not forgetting everything, but no longer being controlled by it. You begin to understand that healing is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming more truly yourself, the self that existed before pain taught why. Oh, fear. The self that knows how to love without self-abandonment. The self that can be gentle and strong at the same time. The self that can trust life without chasing proof. The self that can let go of what hurts without closing the heart to what heals. This self is not new. It has been within you all along, waiting beneath the noise. Life changes when you no longer give your energy to the wrong altar. Pain may have been receiving your attention. Fear may have been receiving your thoughts. Regret may have been receiving your time. But now healing receives your attention. Peace receives your thoughts. Growth receives your time. Self-love receives your care. And whatever receives your energy begins to grow. This is the shift. You may find that people respond differently to you. Some may feel your change and not understand it. Some may miss the version of you that was always available, always explaining, always giving, always carrying. Some may try to pull you back into the old role, but you do not have to return. You can be kind without shrinking. You can be loving without surrendering your peace. You can be calm without becoming available to the same cycle. Your growth does not need everyone's approval. The more your energy comes home, the more you become rooted. You stop being moved by every outside wave. You stop making every silence mean something about your worth. You stop letting every delay mean life is against you. You stop seeing every ending as proof that you are not loved. You begin to trust that life is still working, even when it is quiet. You begin to trust that what is meant for your peace will not require you to betray yourself. You begin to trust that your own heart can guide you. This is where spiritual strength becomes real. It is not only in words, it is in how you treat yourself when the old pain calls. It is in how you choose peace when fear wants control. It is in how you stay loyal to your healing when the past tries to look familiar again. It is in how you give your energy to what helps you grow. The more you practice this, the more your life reflects it. Watch life change as you stop feeding what breaks your spirit. Watch life change as you stop calling confusion love. Watch life change as you stop waiting for someone else to hand you your worth. Watch life change as you bring your energy back to your own body, your own mind, your own heart, your own future. Watch life change as peace becomes more familiar than pain. Watch life change as you become available to the good that could not reach you while you were still holding the old hurt with both hands. You are not behind. You are returning. You are not empty. You are becoming clear. You are not losing love. You are making space for love that does not require you to lose yourself. You are not walking away from your life. You are walking into it. And the life that meets you now will be shaped by the energy you choose to carry forward. I stop giving energy to what hurts me. I bring my attention back to myself. I choose peace over pain. I choose healing over chasing. I choose self-respect over the need to be understood by what keeps confusing me. I am safe to let go of what drains my spirit. I am allowed to focus on my own life. I am allowed to care for my own heart. I am allowed to protect my peace without guilt. My energy is sacred. My attention is powerful. My heart deserves kindness. My mind deserves rest. My body deserves calm. My life deserves my presence. I release the need to keep replaying what hurt me. I release the need to keep asking why. I release the need to prove my worth to anyone. I release the belief that I must chase love. I release the belief that pain is my home. I release the old story that says, I am not enough. I return to myself with love. I return to myself with patience. I return to myself with honesty. I return to myself with peace. I am not the hurt I survived. I am not the rejection I felt. I am not the silence I received. I am not the confusion I carried. I am not the ending that broke my heart. I am more than what happened. I am more than what left. I am more than what did not understand me. I am more than what I had to release. My worth is still here. My light is still here. My strength is still here. My softness is still here. My future is still here. I choose to feed peace. I choose to feed hope. I choose to feed self-love. I choose to feed my healing. I choose to feed the thoughts that help me rise. My mind is learning a new way. My heart is learning a new peace. My body is learning that it is safe to relax. My spirit is learning that it can come home. I no longer build my life around old pain. I no longer give my best energy to what keeps taking. I no longer shrink to stay connected. I no longer chase what makes me feel small. I no longer wait for pain to become love. I am worthy of love that feels peaceful. I am worthy of care that feels steady. I am worthy of kindness that does not confuse me. I am worthy of a life that supports my spirit. I am worthy of my own attention. I am worthy of my own respect. I forgive myself for the energy I gave away. I forgive myself for staying in painful thoughts. I forgive myself for hoping longer than I needed to. I forgive myself for not knowing sooner. I was learning. I was healing. I was doing the best I could. Now I choose differently. Now I choose myself. Now I choose peace. Now I choose to come back to the life that is mine. I trust the quiet wisdom inside me. I trust the feeling that guides me toward peace. I trust the part of me that knows when something is not good for my spirit. I trust myself to let go with love. I trust myself to move forward gently. I trust myself to build a better inner world. My energy is coming back to me. My focus is coming back to me. My peace is coming back to me. My joy is coming back to me. My confidence is coming back to me. My life is opening again. I am no longer trapped in the old cycle. I am no longer tied to the old pain. I am no longer waiting for the past to change before I allow myself to heal. I can heal now. I can breathe more freely now. I can choose better now. I can live with more peace now. I can become softer toward myself now. I can receive good now. Life supports me as I return to myself. Life meets me as I choose peace. Life opens as I stop holding what hurts. Life becomes lighter as my energy comes home. I am guided toward what is healthy. I am guided toward what is honest. I am guided toward what is peaceful. I am guided toward what helps me grow. I let my heart rest from chasing. I let my mind rest from overthinking. I let my body rest from carrying old pain. I let my spirit rest in the truth that I am enough. I do not need to earn my worth. I do not need to beg for peace. I do not need to keep giving where I am being drained. I do not need to prove that I am lovable. I am already worthy. I am already enough. I am already held by the life within me. I choose myself with love. I choose myself with grace. I choose myself with calm strength. I choose myself not to reject others, but to stop rejecting myself. I choose myself not to close my heart, but to protect it with wisdom. I choose myself not because I am cold, but because I am healing. My peace matters. My healing matters. My life matters. My energy matters. My future matters. I now give my energy to what helps me become whole. I give my energy to kind thoughts. I give my energy to peaceful choices. I give my energy to honest growth. I give my energy to the life that is calling me forward. I am ready to live with less heaviness. I am ready to walk with more trust. I am ready to feel calm inside my own presence. I am ready to stop making pain the center of my life. I am ready to let peace become familiar. I am ready to let my own heart be a safe place. I am ready to watch life change as I focus on myself. The life you want begins with the energy you choose to protect. It begins when you stop giving your thoughts to what hurts you more than you give them to your own healing. It begins when you stop making pain the center of your inner world. It begins when you stop asking old wounds to tell you who you are. It begins when you bring your attention back to the quiet truth inside you. You do not need to hate what hurt you in order to be free from it. You do not need to fight the past in order to move forward. You do not need to become hard in order to protect your peace. You only need to remember that your energy is sacred and it belongs where life can grow. It belongs with your healing. It belongs with your peace. It belongs with your body. It belongs with your future. It belongs with the part of you that is still ready to rise. What hurt you may have taken time, but it does not get to take your whole life. It may have taken peace for a while, but it does not get to own your spirit. It may have made you forget yourself, but now you are remembering. And this remembering is powerful. This remembering is the beginning of change. Focus on yourself now, not with guilt, not with fear, not with the need to explain it to everyone. Focus on yourself with love. Focus on yourself with softness. Focus on yourself because your life deserves your presence. Focus on yourself because your heart deserves to feel safe again. Focus on yourself because when your energy comes home, life begins to open in ways you could not see while you were still feeding the hurt. Let the old pain lose its place at the center. Let peace take that place. Let self-respect take that place. Let healing take that place. Let the quiet truth of your worth take that place. You are allowed to move forward. You are allowed to be free. You are allowed to stop giving energy to what hurts you and begin giving energy to the life that is still waiting for you with open arms. Your energy is coming home. Your peace is coming back. Your heart is healing, and your life is beginning to change.